Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. We'll be talking about service ownership and the new product features launching at PagerDuty Summit 2021. So what is service ownership? Service ownership is a culture and operating model where the people writing the code own it in production. With ownership comes accountability and a vested interest to deliver high quality code. But the goal of service ownership is to reduce the time to resolve incidents and to lower the impact to your customers. But service ownership also gives you a competitive edge because when you can innovate faster, you will stay more relevant in today's ever-changing world. I'm Inga Weitzman, Senior Product Marketing Manager at PagerDuty, and joining me today are Brita Seltzer and Katie Rader, Senior Product Managers, who will talk to you about the features that we're launching at Summit. A minute is all you have. It takes less than a minute of downtime to send consumers looking for other options. So it's not surprising that digital transformations are top of mind for CEOs that are looking to be competitive and deliver always-on digital experiences for their customers. But the digital world is complex. This visual is a great example of that pain. This is just one look at a contemporary digital service. This is Netflix. This is their service dependency map. It's made up of thousands of microservices, all interconnected and interdependent. It's software, but behind it are people, distributed and changing teams tasked with keeping this complex service running in the cloud. Chaotic incident response wastes precious time. During an incident, historically, the answer was to simply throw people at the problem until the expert is found. This is hugely inefficient, it wastes time, and it pulls people away from their daily jobs so they can't innovate for their customers. Without foundational service ownership mappings, incident management becomes chaos. When responders get that page at 3 a.m., they won't have the tools to answer the most fundamental questions. What is broken? What underlying piece of technical infrastructure is alerting or having an issue? And they won't be able to quickly determine who's responsible, who owns the service, and who needs to take immediate action. And lastly, what's the impact? What is the consequence or other technical services in the infrastructure or other teams? And what's the ultimate impact to the customers or the business? Zoom calls like the one you see here attempt to answer these questions in a reactive manner when seconds count. And now over to Brita.
Thanks, Inga. Hey everyone, my name is Brita Seltzer and I'm the product manager for the services and dependencies team at PagerDuty. And these challenges that Inga has just gone through are very real. And the service graph, which will be released to all customers in the next 2 quarters, is another foundational tool PagerDuty is investing in to continue to support and accelerate our customers' service ownership journey. A critical component of service ownership, as Inga has mentioned, and efficient incident response is having that clear understanding of all services in a technical ecosystem, what teams have accountability for each service, and how those services come together to deliver customer-facing business capabilities. Without this, responders remain siloed, unaware that an issue they're trying to resolve may have actually been caused by a service they depend on, wasting valuable time and resources when 2, 4, 8+ teams are working on their own, when they could have understood the problem as a whole, collaborated, and resolved the issue without so much churn. The service graph breaks down these silos by allowing users to holistically understand how the services they own contribute to the greater technical ecosystem and product functionality. And if those relationships don't yet exist or there are gaps, the service graph provides the tools to seamlessly create those relationships, ensuring that the information is available to them and their teams during the next incident. And as you'll see momentarily in our demo, it allows them to easily and visually assess the impact radius of an issue, zero in on probable cause, and facilitate that cross-team collaboration so that all responders are able to answer those critical questions about what is broken, who's responsible, and what's the impact, and worked as efficiently as possible towards a resolution. So now I'll go ahead and share my screen for a quick demo. Awesome. So in this example, we're going to talk about Retail Co. And they're in the process of just beginning to map out their services. So to get started, they can drag and drop their checkout business service into the graph, as well as the associated technical services, in this case, inventory API and MongoDB. They can easily then create relationships by drawing lines between the nodes in the graph, allowing them to map out their service structure in minutes. But let's say that they already have dependency information stored elsewhere. They could have used our API, Terraform provider, or ServiceNow integration to import those relationships into PD and populate that into the graph so that this critical information is available to them and their teammates during those moments of incident response. So now let's turn to an example incident. Jazz, in this case, is the on-call engineer for Retail Co.'s checkout team, and she's just received a page that the inventory API is experiencing a P1 issue. It's unclear what's wrong, so she jumps to the service graph to see the wider context. The full scope of the business and customer impact is immediately visible. It's affecting the checkout experience on web and mobile, and there is no question that this is truly a P1 issue that requires immediate attention. Jazz can also assess that there are additional services, both upstream and downstream from her service, that are experiencing issues, making it clear that it's not just isolated to her service. Given the flow of impact, it appears that the MongoDB service owned by the database team may actually be the root cause of these failures. Clicking on that MongoDB service, Jazz can see the recent incidents open against this service and that Jose is currently on call. Jazz quickly reaches out to Jose and receives an update that he is proactively working on a fix, and that it's likely causing the issues that she's experiencing on her service. Since the fix is expected to be deployed in a couple of minutes, Jazz sits tight and sees her incident auto-resolve when things return to normal 10 minutes later. With the service graph, it won't matter if an issue is originating 1 layer or 4 layers away from your service, or if the teams you depend on or that depend on you are across the hall or across the world. Responders will be able to quickly digest the full impact radius of an issue, zero in on likely cause, and seamlessly facilitate cross-team collaboration. That's it for the service graph today. I'll turn it over to my colleague, Katie.
All right, I will be talking to you all about another new capability that we're releasing to help service owners keep an eye on the business services that are important to them. So to add on to our business response suite of capabilities, we are releasing priority-based business service subscription. Priority-based business service subscription allows users to subscribe to the business services that are important to them based on the incident priority level. This means that business stakeholders are able to get tight control over when they get notified about business service impact. This can be really helpful in cases where you might have some business services that you own that you care about all issues on, but you still want to stay in tune with high priority issues across some of the other services across your architecture. I will walk you through a quick demo of these capabilities. All right. So let's say that I'm a stakeholder working at this company, ABC Co. I own a business unit, and I want to keep tight an eye on all of the incidents that impact the services in my business unit. I'm able to go into PagerDuty and subscribe to a business service. So let's say the core application business service. And we'll see that the core application business service is now listed under my subscribed services. This means that anytime the core application business service is impacted by an incident, I'm going to get notified. Now, what's more, let's say that I'm interested in what happens at the authentication and sign-on service, but it's not actually owned by any of my teams. So I don't want to be notified for every P3, P4, and P5 on this service. So I can actually go ahead and edit my subscription and subscribe just to high priority incidents on whichever service I choose. And now I'll have a great setup where I can get just awareness for highest priority issues on some business services, but on others where I have tighter ownership, I'm able to get notified for all issues that occur. This view right here allows me as a stakeholder to self-manage my subscription, but there are also abilities for a team to subscribe to a business service. So let's say that our developer experience team wants to manage their business service subscriptions. The team manager can subscribe the full team to any business services, also with specific priority level settings. And even more, we have the ability for account admins to manage subscription for all of the users in your account. If I go to the details page for a business service, you'll see that I can subscribe any individual user or team that's on my account to this business service, and I can manage their subscription to make sure that they only receive notifications for the highest priority issues. Additionally, I'm able to subscribe all users in my account to notifications for specific business service if this is a really critical service. So let's say that I want all of the users in my instance to be notified when there is a P1 incident on my authentication and sign-on business service. I can create that default subscription setting here, and we'll see that all of the users on my account have been added with that P1 subscription setting. This capability allows all of your stakeholders to stay in tune with critical issues on business services at the right level for them to prevent notification fatigue, but keep them aware in the moments that count.